Alright, so I believe it's time to start working on a new rover. Yep, that's way too big.
Fuel low.
So, what I'm thinking for this rover is I want the frame to be built around a large cargo container because it needs to be able to carry a decent amount of cargo. It also is going to need to be a lot more stable because while I was able to get this one to work decently well, I had to add a bunch of thrusters, which kind of defeated the purpose of being a rover. So, no thrusters on this because this is intended to be a rover and not a ship. Because the big issue with a ship is it's very hard to take a full capacity because you don't have enough lifting power. I think I'll probably go with full size wheels just for simplicity's sake, and will make it a lot more sturdy. Let's see, so
Fuel low.
yes, that that is indeed upside down, so I need to make sure that when I do it here,
Fuel critical.
that I don't make it upside down. Actually, yeah, I think that is upside down. There we go.
Fuel low.
Wait a minute. There we go. Alright. 5. See. Yep. Right. And yeah, definitely. Well, let's do it. Hey, how are things going? So right now I'm just working on a new rover because my old one is not really working as well as I would like, and it's not that stable. So one of the intention of this rover is it's going to be able to carry a lot more cargo, and it'll be significantly more stable.
Fuel critical.
So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to do a 3x3 3 wheel body. So a total of 6 wheels. That's kind of what I'm thinking for right now.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
So how are things going for you? I saw you did a video for the Cracked World again. I actually haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I saw you have got another episode in, so that's cool. Yeah, I guess that's a funny thing with space engineers is you don't actually completely touch it. You need to be close enough, but not always. The hitboxes don't always work correctly all the time. So even sometimes it's hard to actually weld certain blocks, like for example, lights are incredibly difficult to weld.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
So one thing I have to work out is kind of figuring out how to connect on the hydrogen engines and whatnot, because that's another component that that has to be worked in, because at this stage I don't have the resources for a reactor, and I also don't have the fuel for a reactor. So I also need to determine where to put the connector, because that will also determine what's the front and what's the back of the vehicle. You know what? I think I'll put the connector here. So that will be the back of the vehicle. To the last vehicle really didn't have enough power, so I'll need at
Fuel
least
low.
2 hydrogen engines. And I'll also need an oxygen O2. So I think that guy will. I'll put that one on the other side, the other front, and I can have the hydrogen engines connect to that. Alright, yep, that looks like that should work. So, have you played Space Engineers yet? Or if you have, has it been kind of a while? Yeah, it's a big one. So when did you get the game?
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Well, that's pretty soon. Yeah, it's definitely probably one of the best games I've played, and it was actually it was probably a little bit overpriced when I got it. I got it on sale, but that was ages ago when the game was still in very early state. So it was overpriced for what it was then, but I definitely got a great deal on it considering what it is now. Yeah, I don't really have. I have a bunch. I have a decent amount of games, but most of it is from Humble Bundle. But I haven't really been buying games in a while. Yes, now that I think about it, that actually looks pretty nice visually, the way this ended up being oriented. Of course, that one oxygen generator probably won't be enough to power both of those hydrogen engines, so I'll probably need to add another one. So the goal here is to have enough power from these engines that I won't actually have to connect to batteries. The batteries work okay, but they're not really the best mechanism for kind of for your ships. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I've actually never heard about that one. I think I've heard of Stellaris. But at a certain point in Space Engineers, you start building capital ships. However, I've never actually gotten any good capital ships in survival, just because it takes a fair amount of work to actually design them, and the other issue is you really have to get into building welders in order for to actually build a capital ship. Yeah.
Energy low.
Alright, I think that should be a good distance.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Alright. I think that should do it. Alright, there. Yeah. The tiles are actually rather. All the blocks are very high quality. In the early versions of the game, they weren't as high quality, but since the game first came out, they've really revamped the visuals. The downside is it makes it a lot harder for older computers to play the game. But yeah, this is what the quality looks like when you're on the lowest quality settings. Alright, so let's go out 6 more, I think. But first, let's actually add in this whole piece here. Add in a bit of that rim. So surprisingly, this guy kind of looks like he could float. Does look like a boat, I guess. Alright, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fuel low.
Let's see, which one did I miss? There we go. Right. So one of the goals of this vehicle is that it will be designed to go over small bumps without much issue, and also go up steep hills. Okay, that's one shortcoming of my previous vehicle, is it had trouble going up hills.
Energy low.
Alright, that should do it for that side. And also for this side. And I'm going to drop off, yeah, well, probably all the stuff I don't need, just so I can grab the stuff I do need. Alright. So one thing that's become rather apparent is apparently the collision boxes on these wheels no longer work. But oh well. Let's see here, just yep, that cockpit I think works because it works decently well with this cargo container. I think I probably want to have something more before I put the cockpit in,
Energy
but I think
critical.
that should work there. Can I fit a hydrogen tank on here? Yeah, I might. Yeah, I think I can. Oh. It's not that it doesn't have enough in inventory, it's I don't have enough physically to hold that. Yeah, I'm not sure about ravines. I think the best approach for ravines is not to fall in them. So I don't think any amount of engineering you can do will kind of avoid having a good way to get out of a ravine easily. They're all stuff you can do with to right your vehicle by carrying a supply of pistons and whatnot. But beyond that, you'll kind of, if your vehicle gets stuck, you're pretty much stuck. Alright, let's see. Just determine which cockpit I want to use. So, I'm still thinking that vital cockpit, that'll require me to go a little bit farther in, but I think I can do that. Have it go a little bit farther out. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Two, 1, blast off.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Up. Oops. Alright. Alright, probably hook up some conveyors near the bottom for connection there. Not sure what I would actually put down below there. I guess I could put a couple of Gatling guns on it, but I don't think there's really much point in that. Because this is not intended to be a tank, it's intended to be a rover. Right, so I think I'll probably just add some steel around the top to just kind of seal off everything.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
So I do want to avoid getting it too heavy. But I also want there to be some decent amount of protection in case it happens to roll. It's wide enough that it's unlikely that it will roll, but that there's still a good reason to have a bit of protection. Let's see. Yeah, starting to get kind of heavy, I think. Perhaps it would be best to just cut it off here and not let it get any heavier. Yeah. Like this, probably a minimalistic roll cage would probably be sufficient for now.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to grab certain spots and get them welded. There we go. Alright, that should be sufficient for that part of the roll cage. So now I think I'll just focus on this piece here.
Fuel low.
And let's go
Fuel
recharge my
critical.
jetpack. So you're also working on uploading another mental block video? Or something? Or is it a Warscast video? Yep, kind of figured that. Perhaps once you get your wings and space engineers, you could do a video on that.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Alright. That's starting to look pretty nice. There we go. I think that's good, and that leaves that spot down below open for some modifications if I decide later to add some. If I decide later to go ahead and add add some conveyor belts. Alright, yep, visibility still good. Not that I tend to fly in that specific view mode, but meh. So there are a lot of different colors. I like to stick with default gray, but you can easily change the colors. For example, if you see down where it says the temperature, beside it there's the block color. And I'm not gonna change it now. Just well, I guess I could. So here was a different color that I just changed it to, and I just changed it back.
Fuel low.
I just like to stick with the
Fuel
default color,
critical.
but there are all kinds of different colors you can use. Oh, did I seriously forget to do that while I was over there? Okay. Alright. I think that's looking pretty decent. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do some corners here. And on the other side. Like so. Alright. Alright, now let's add
Fuel
another
low.
one. See. That should do the trick.
Fuel critical.
That doesn't entirely work, but I think it's good enough. Oh, well that's a heavy armor, not a light armor, so that's not the right one. There we go. Light armor tip.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Alright. So once I finish with kind of basic, basic design of the speaker, I'll kind of go through the different color options that are available. There are a lot of different options. I tend to not use them, but there are plenty of options, so I'll show you kind of all of them.
Viewer low.
Alright, I think that should do it for the roll cage for now. It's still within a decent, has a decent maths. Though actually, what is the mass of the station? I guess it doesn't say. The game has in the past tended to add on the mass of the station whenever a vehicle is connected to a station. So that value I just looked at could be erroneous. And the paint does not add any protection against rust. So there's no rain in the game, so rust is not actually an issue. It's really just for cosmetics. I think you can work with small colors, because I've noticed sometimes you have a different the color scheme on some maps is slightly different. So I don't know everything about colors. But anyway, I think the next step I need to do is I need to go gather some ice. Alright, turn this guy off. Unlock this guy. Switch this guy to discharge. Turn on this system. Turn on the thrusters, and away we go. So this is your everyday flying car. a minute. Something's damaged. I'll have to inspect it. Yeah, definitely something is damaged, and I do not know what. Doesn't seem like it's too much of an issue other than a huge trailing cloud of smoke on the back of the vehicle. Alright, another good landing. So let's turn off the thrusters and let's actually do a damage inspection and see what's actually damaged. This thruster's fine. Alright, so it's this thruster. Probably got damaged. The front thrusters during one of my tests got damaged, and that thruster probably also got damaged, and I probably just missed it. But damaged thrusters are actually not a huge issue because we have wheels. Alright, turn off the engine and rely solely on battery power.
Inventory full.
Alright. Let's actually see, can I... Yep. Let's see here. I just stashed this away too, so it's not cluttering up my inventory. Yep. That could happen. Probably not, because there's no volumetric water. So an avalanche isn't going to happen. Alright, that's a little bit of ice. And just keep going. Alright, I've hit stone, so need to throw that out, because that's junk. Alright, let's see. Alright. A little bit more ice. So once I'm done gathering the ice, that vehicle is not going to be able to take off. Does not have enough lifting capacity to lift off to ground when at full capacity or near full capacity. And it's going to be absolutely full of capacity. But that's another reason why I'm going to this ice location instead of going down to the lake. Because this is a lot easier to get back to my base. Alright, so I'm just about at max. Well, no, I still have a decent amount of room, so I'm just gonna max out these devices. Yeah, it will be absolutely filled to the max with its capacity. And I'm quite sure we're going to need all of this. Because the next level is going to be is predicted to be an ice festival. Alright, just about at full capacity, I think. Alright, almost there. Alright, let's see. Yep, no ice laying around, so just grab the phone. And there. Alright, that's at capacity. Can't really put anything there. Alright. So I think this vehicle is now at capacity. So I'll collect the remainder of the items and believe it's time to actually head back home. Let's see, battery power. That is plenty of power. Alright, I'm gonna need to be careful not to go too fast because this vehicle is gonna be very heavy. Alright, so let's actually bump the maximum speed down a bit. And I believe I can ignore that particle, 'cause that's just from the thruster. Whether or not I can get up the hill is a different question. I suppose a worthwhile test just gonna show you is we can knock it off the ground as anticipated. Well, it's not like I have inventory space anyway, so I think I can ignore that for now. Alright, we're coming in hot. Slam on those brakes. But the fact that we're accelerating so fast is because this thing is extremely heavy. Right. Parking brake on. Lock activated. Power is charging. And for good metal, batteries, move them to recharge mode. Alright, and lastly, time to repair that thruster that's been damaged. go. Oh, I need one more metal grid. Right, and one more large steel tube. Alright, that should do it. There we go. Now that guy is repaired. And let's start unloading the vessel. Alright, and let's actually throw a little bit in here. Most of it is actually to go in here, so I'm just gonna start packing up this guy. Alright, so I think that's about all for now, because I actually am gonna need to turn to get some power on into that device, which means I of course actually need to get a bit of hydrogen connected, which yes, that could be an issue. I think I have a solution though, but let's see. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Almost there. And I'm gonna leave a little bit in the H2. Right. Oh. Alright, there we go. Right. And I think it's just a little bit more. As for this guy, I'm just gonna drag that over here because I've actually disabled the generator 2 because I found some issues with the hydrogen engine that when you had 2 generators it tended to be less efficient. So it only needs 1 generator to be efficient. Alright, that should be a decent amount of ice and all. Now I need to work on getting power to this vessel. I believe the simple solution is relatively simple, provided it's placed in exactly the right spot. Alright, that's good enough to kind of place this thing down. Let's see here. Yeah, that's probably close enough. Alright, so let's just go up here. Let's get a connector here. Let's see. Hopefully this will be close enough to actually have it be effective. Wait a minute. Yes, that's... There we go.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
Nope, not close enough. However, if I were to drop it down to, it probably would be close enough. Alright, so let's take this guy out. There we go. Oh, and of course. Now it would have been close enough, but it drifted too far. And now it wouldn't have been, it's just still, now it's too low. I guess I could just add a battery, that's the other option. And this guy isn't particularly too expensive. There we go. Alright, just put it right there. I'm only gonna go with one, because this battery's sole job is to act as a backup power supply so that my oxygen generators can begin to function. As we can see now. Let's check hydrogen engines. They're both online. Just gonna turn them off. No. So I'm just, well, I'll just turn them off so they can start filling. Alright. Just throw this guy in here. Yeah. Yeah, the next step will actually be to build a basic rocket that uses hydrogen.
Fuel low.
Let's see here.
Fuel critical.
Alright, let's go ahead and try building another connector again. And this time, let's set it up and... Alright, so let's not have it too far away. And because this is elevated, we do have to connect to a bit elevated. But yeah, that should do it. Let's turn these guys on just so there's a little bit more stable power. And of course, still not enough. If I were to raise the wheel height, that probably would help. Save. Let's see. Height offset. Let's see that a little bit. Actually, let's bump the height offset back to what it was because we want there to be a little bit of give. Strength. Let's bump that. That worked. It was also a little bit close and kind of probably damaged something, but that worked. Alright, let's check on the damage and see if anything was severely damaged. Nope. Nope. In the old days, if something like this happened, the entire ship would completely explode. Nowadays, it's not that bad. Let's see. Did I? Yeah, I need to fix my color and give them back to normal. There we go. No, that's one of the reasons I don't like messing with changing the color. It's hard to find the same exact color that you're using before. There we go. Yep, that's the right color. Hey, thanks. Thank you very much. So are you enjoying the stream so far? I'm trying my best to kind of get more proficient at it. I'm still starting out, but I'm trying my best to be as proficient as I can. It's more of that's when you can start offering the ability to have people be subscribers. So once you get to 50 people, you can apply to become an affiliate. So that's kind of the main goal of getting to 50. Yeah, perhaps my mic is a little bit messed up, and also I don't usually talk if there's not much interaction in the chat, so it's kind of when you're kind of starting out, it's hard to really talk when there's not much to talk about. I've been trying my best to do it though. Yeah, I know. I've been trying to bump that up as well. And one thing I've kind of been trying to focus on is even if there's no one on, I just kind of been kind of focusing, trying to treat it as if more of a let's play. Whereas, because I know I have a few people that can't always watch when it's live, but might watch later. So I try to do my best there too, even if I know no one's on, because there might be people watching later. All right, let's see. So. Yeah. I guess it does take time. I kind of feel like you probably need a little bit more than 50 to get that average, because part of the average is you would need to have enough followers that you have people watching concurrently, but you'd also not everyone's going to be able to watch all the time, so you'll want to have some
Fuel
streams
low.
have slightly more and others have less.
Fuel critical.
Alright, that's, well, probably should have actually built more. Yeah. So this is actually, I have been doing Space Engineers for quite a while. And I just recently decided when they introduced their new progression system to really give it a completely new go with the new progression system. Because in the past, I played on the old progression system, which was very, very, very different than what they have now. Because in the old system, all blocks were unlocked, but in this system, you start out with a lot less than you did in the old days. I remember in the old days we would land in a humongous landau that was huge, whereas nowadays you land in a tiny little dropship. So it's just, the game has changed tremendously since it initially came out, to the point it almost doesn't always feel like the same game. Actually, I think probably want to go down. Alright. I'm always running out of stuff. No idea why. Well, I do know why. I'm building too much too quickly. That's why I'm running out of stuff. Let's see, how's my ion storage? That's doing good. That, I guess that was the benefit of building this massive contraption, is it has provided me with a very strong amount of resources that is actually has been very helpful getting started. It also provides a ton of gravel that really has no use. So there's the downside of it too. need to get one more of that device. There we go. And of course I need to get this guy. And let's see. Yeah, that should be a decent amount. Oh, no, that wasn't a decent amount. But that will give us enough modals. Then I'll be able to get there. Alright. There we go. Let's go back and weld this. Alright. Final step is to disconnect and reconnect the network. And one thing to note is the moment that this network is fully connected, these conveyor belts are going to change from yellow to green. And another thing to note with the conveyor belt is there's a good way to tell if a conveyor belt is damaged. Well, that's not this. Kill the weapons. Hate to do it because this actually requires me to fix up the tube, but if a conveyor belt gets damaged, you get this nice little indicator that tells you that this conveyor belt has been damaged, and then it has to be repaired. So that's a very good indicator if you're trying to figure out what happened to your conveyor system and why things aren't working. Is you can go through your conveyor system and check the lights to see if the conveyors are still online. Yeah, they might have. But another thing to note is the blocks can get deformed. So that's another thing, kind of a nice visual if someone has damaged your base. And if you note, this is actually not a significant amount of damage. So blocks deform a lot before they actually start to take significant amount of damage. Like this one has only lost a single steel plate. I'm gonna rate it from here because I knew this shouldn't remain in here anyway. And one final thing I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little tip on is I'm gonna introduce you to Tim. Tim is a user created script that allows you to manage your inventory. So you can find this script on the Steam Workshop, but what this script allows you to do is it allows you to add tags to your blocks, and it will automatically move items between different blocks based on the tags you give them. Alright, let's see. How's the ice situation? Ice. Well, actually, might as well top these guys off a bit. let's see, hydrogen tank full, engines full. That's good. Let's actually start configuring this system. So let's actually set this up. Engines. See, we have our wheels. And let's actually go over here. Let's actually go and disconnect this system from connector. Disconnect this from the grid so we don't have confusion. Unlock, not lock. Because there's a lot of things connected here and it just kind of causes a bit of confusion when configuring a vehicle. So let's connector, turn off the strength because that kind of functionality gets annoying and that can damage stuff. So we want to turn off the strength. We want to turn off the engines. We want to go to our connector. We want to pull the connector over here and do toggle switch lock. Next piece, we want to add a toggle for engines to toggle them on and off. And let's toggle them on. Oh, no, let's leave them off for now. Next, we want to move over to the wheels and we want to do a couple different things. One thing we want to add is probably increasing and decreasing power is one important thing. Another important variable is increasing and decreasing strength. Usually you don't have to mess with this value, so actually I'm gonna move that to a different page and I'm gonna switch to a different value that's probably a little bit more important. So friction is an important value if you're having trouble getting up a hill. Speed limit is a very important value as this allows you to clamp the maximum speed that the vehicle is going, which will increase your stability. That is the default speed limit that the wheels have when they're initially set up. And you know what? I'm gonna add one more just for simplicity in the wheels. And this is gonna be the optional setting. Is one thing we might want to do is wheels can get damaged and you might have to repair them. So having the setting to add a wheel is actually a valuable setting to have. Another thing is, like I was saying, is strength. You sometimes might need to increase or decrease strength. Usually you don't have to mess with steering and whatnot, so I'm not going to pull that over there. I think that's kind of the main stuff for this guy. We don't need a drill because there's no drill connected to this vehicle. Another thing is let's group the generators. H2 underscore gen save. Alright. Toggle them on and off as needed. Hydrogen tank can remain on at all times, so we don't have to mess with that. The battery, we probably should add some settings for that one. So usually the battery can be left in auto, but sometimes you might want to change it. So probably enable auto is a good one, and then for recharge and discharge. Alright, that should be good for that block. Alright, I think that's kind of all. You might want to adjust the steering, but that's not a that is not a necessity. You don't have to modify the steering. Definitely need to add a parking brake though. Handbrake. And let's bump that on. And usually for stability, it sometimes is effective just to have the front wheel and the back wheel turning and disable the middle wheel. So let's first see which wheel we just disabled. So yep, that's that guy. Let's see. It should be this one will be the next one. Yep, well, actually, those two need to have steering. I think it's this one I might not want to have steering. Yeah, it's that one that doesn't want to have steering, and then it's I think this one. Yep. There we go. Perfect. Alright. So, another thing after making a successful vehicle and getting it all configured is you want to make sure to save your vehicle so you can rebuild it at a later point. So by pressing Control B, it will allow you to create a schematic. And oh, I forgot one thing that would actually make the schematic usable, is I need to give it a name. So I'm gonna call it large, small. I need a better name than that. Any ideas? Alright. I'll call it that. Moon Patrol. I'm not sure that name really fits because we're not on the moon, but I'll go with that. Oh. Earth-like rover Mark 7. Well, Mark 3. Alright, there we go. Now we can save it. Oh. So now you can see that vehicle has been saved. Yeah, I didn't get the reference. Rest another couple vehicles. Let's see. So this is a vehicle I was doing for the Dakar Rally, and during Zockley's stream. So I'll probably show you that one at a later point. That one was really way too heavy and doesn't work at the best, so that one's pretty much retired. But here, I believe we can safely say it is time to take this vessel for a test drive. So let's turn on let's charge the battery up first. And another thing to note about batteries is when they are activated, batteries actually will have a small amount of power. Not much, but it's enough to get your vehicle initially going. As a side effect of that, when you grind down a battery, which I'm just going to show you in a second, it's going to be a waste of resources, but I'll go ahead and show it to you anyway. But when you grind down a battery, but I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to weld up this battery here. You're going to notice my inventory is empty, and another thing you notice is there are power cells in this battery. If I grind this battery down, you notice, where'd my power cell go? That's one thing is when you grind batteries down, they do not give you power cells back. They only give you scrap metal. So you want to be careful when grinding down batteries to only grind them down if you absolutely need to, because you're gonna lose the power cell. Let's see. What is my refinery doing? Refinery. That's probably why. There we go. That's not working as effective as it used to work. It says we go back to Tim and update. Perhaps Tim's not running frequently enough. Actually, I don't actually remember how to update how often he runs. Yeah, he's running pretty often, about once a second. I do need to find a place to put that stone, because it's starting to get on my nerves. Just having tiny amounts of stone, which is, yeah. I'm not dealing with them, throwing away. Alright, let's check on the battery and see how much charge that battery has. 12 minutes. I think it's probably fine for now. Because we're not going to actually have thrusters connected or anything that use a ton of power. The main goal of that battery is so that when we turn on, so if we need to jump start the engine, we can. Turn off this as well. Right. Oh, of course, I forgot to turn off the handbrake. It's not gonna work if the handbrake's still on. And let's bump down the power, cause wait a minute, did I configure something wrong? Alright, that's friction. Make sure that that is also friction. No, I didn't configure anything wrong. They're separate. So I'm just gonna leave friction back at 50 and decrease power down to about 19. Actually, probably don't need too much because we're not going to be going up any major hills yet. The main goal is to get onto that ramp, which this vehicle might be a hill too big to fit onto this ramp, but it looks like it's doing okay. Yeah, did okay. Let's Turn off this. Inspect for some damage. Perhaps I should have left the power on a tiny bit more. Yeah, these are all fine. It's not like they actually had any durability. Anyway, if we hit with any kind of velocity, those would have gone pop pretty quickly anyway. So there's that. I am thinking I'm considering not having this ramp here because this ramp is very difficult to turn on. So I'm considering just extending the flat part and going forward in that direction. Because yeah, as you can see, this is a difficult ramp to turn on. Alright. See, strength is good. Clearance is good. Let's bump up the power because we're having a bit of issue on this hill. Not bump it down. Yeah, that should be a decent amount of power. So now let's kind of test going over some minor bumps. Of course, I forgot the gyroscope. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Alright. Well, I'll be back in a second. Let's inspect the damage. Damage is okay. Let's see. Base. Oh, let's see. There we go. Alright. Alright, so I need enough components for about 2 gyroscopes. And I will need 1 antenna. Alright. Let's see. Two and 1. Alright. That should do it. And of course, hopefully I can actually find where my vehicle crashed. That's always a bit of an issue, is you can very easily lose where you placed your vehicle, and I forgot to waypoint it. So hopefully alright, yeah, I think I know I think I have a general idea. Let's see here. So yeah, let's see, it was about 400 meters away, so let's see if I can see it. See what's over there. Oh, nope. Alright, time. If I don't find it soon, I'm just gonna have to go back to the base and grab a hydrogen tank, because I don't really have enough hydrogen to go a significant amount of distance.
Fuel low.
Alright, there we go. Now to do some vehicle searching. There we go. Takes a little while to find your vehicle. That was why I brought the antenna, because I know from multiple times. I don't know why I don't always think about it when I first set up the vehicle, that it's hard to find your vehicle without an antenna. But that should do it. Alright, now 2 gyroscopes should be sufficient, I think. I might need more, but I'm gonna try and go with 2 for now. Let's see, I think I want to put them inside the roll cage, so I'm gonna do 1 heel. Let's see, yes, 1 heel and 1 on the other side. Like so. Well, probably coming from a different angle. Alright, like so. Alright. 2 gyroscopes. And now let's go and do a control. Go back to my schematic. Go Earth-like. And let's, well, actually I can just do Control B and it will replace it. Actually, Control C. No, that's not what I want. Nah, I'll just go. Just say edit, delete. Yep. And Control. No, not Control V. Control B. Alright. And F10 again. And here we are. Alright. See. Gyroscopes. Let's make sure I'm not causing too much damage to the roll cage. Yeah, roll cage is still good. Alright, so the next step, if we're having trouble getting it upright just using gyroscopes, we then need to try and use pistons. So I'll go through that in a little bit if we can't get it upright. There we go. Nope, still didn't work. This is now starting to beat up the roll cage a bit. Well, actually, no, I guess it's just visual. See? Yeah. All the critical components are all fine. Alright. Pistons. The roll cage in it is intended to actually protect the vehicle from rolling and not to help it roll. It's intended to protect the vehicle in case of a roll to prevent damage to the critical components. Which it on that note, it has done its job very well. So we'll need a few pistons. This is the kind of thing that you'll want if your vehicle you go on long journeys in your vehicle. You want to have pistons as spare parts. So 2 pistons, that should be decent. Alright. Okay. I thought I put that antenna, so there we are. Alright. So pistons are rather straightforward to set up. The main goal of pistons in this situation is to simply get the vehicle off the ground. Let's see. I don't think I have the resources for the top part, so I'm just going to remove it anyway and just focus on the bottom part. Alright, let's do the same thing on the other side of the cage. Alright, that should do it. And now let's turn on those pistons. This should help get us more off the ground, and hopefully at this point our gyroscope should be able to function a little bit better. Oh, that didn't help. Alright. Let's try a different approach. Now I'm going to completely flip the vehicle. Check on, yeah, the battery is still fine. So, let's see. Probably should flip it that way, since that way I can take advantage of this hill. I'm just gonna do one, because I'm gonna need to add a second one soon to that guy. Okay, reverse. And there we go. Next step is I will need to add another piston. See? Yep, I can place that there. Piston. Reverse. Alright. That didn't work, but that's getting us closer. Looks like I'll need 3 pistons. See if I can actually roll out of this now. Surprisingly, it's still intact. Finally. This has damaged a decent amount of components, but not too bad. Let's inspect the overall damage. Alright, so this guy has taken a pretty heavy beating. Almost enough to completely take it out, but should be repairable. Yep, definitely needs more gyros. I was trying to just stick to 2, but I think for a vehicle this weight, it would definitely does need more gyros. Alright, yep. Well, at least that block over there was still intact. So I definitely know it can flip decently easy, so I don't want to go too fast on bumpy terrain. Hopefully it won't be flipping as bad now that we have some gyros, but we don't really have enough to really be too effective. Right, let's see. Right. Let's go ahead and drive it on up. And then afterwards, actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother driving it up because I need to redesign how this whole thing is designed. So instead, I'm just going to go gather the parts I need to repair that connector and go back down and repair it. Alright, motors. You know what? I'm always needing a bunch of these, so I'm just gonna order in bulk. Alright, there we go. Oh, and that was the wrong one, of course. Meh, oh well. Yep, so more gyros. That's important, I guess. Yeah, this thing's just too heavy. Right. Alright, gyroscopes. Three, four. Alright, I'll just do 4 more. That should improve things a bit. Alright, let's do 1 here. And let's do 1 here. And same over on this side. That should help with getting out of situations. Alright. Now, yes, definitely a lot more effective. So now let's actually inspect the ice situation and see how fast it is guzzling. Yeah, it's been guzzling through ice pretty quickly, so let's actually check on hydrogen tank. Yeah, so of course still has a ways to go, but might as well go gather up some ice now. And actually, still need to figure out a good way to get back up here. Now, I'll get the ice first and I'll come back and gather that. Wait a minute, this is the wrong spot. It's over here. That's where we need to go. There. Yep. More gyros was definitely important. Alright, let's inspect the roll cage. Check for any kind of damage. A bit of deformation here, not too bad. Yep. It might have been able to recover somewhat with 2 gyroscopes if I was very quick about it, but it would not have been. It was definitely unable to get out of a spin with 2 gyroscopes. With 6, it's actually able to recover pretty decently. Alright, that should reduce the amount of energy loss from the engines being activated. So that vehicle right now is using hydrogen. So because I haven't gotten to the point where I can build reactors yet, this vehicle is being powered by 2 hydrogen engines. That of course means that it guzzles through ice like crazy, but I guess that's a cost you have to pay initially. Yeah, the issue I found with batteries is they tend to not work very well unless you're solar powered. Because batteries, unless they've changed the settings, batteries, I believe, only recover 80% of their power. Oh yeah, that might be effective. Yeah, that's effectively what I did for my other one. So that's probably another option as well. I think that might actually be more effective now that you think about it. I was trying to for this one not do any batteries, but batteries probably might be more effective too. Yeah, it fluctuates based on how. It fluctuates kind of based on how much the wheels are activated. But yeah, let's actually make sure that battery is not active, because that can, the battery, a battery, yeah, that battery is not in the count. So yeah, I guess that means it will last a decent amount of time. Because oh yes, I did I forgot something. In addition to the ice, it's guzzling through ice pretty quickly, but there's a massive hydrogen tank. There's a massive hydrogen tank on this vessel. Alright, let's actually make sure this battery is in the right mode. Discharge. So yeah, the battery doesn't even produce enough power to power the entire vehicle. It's only one battery. But based on its maximum, the battery will be depleted in 12 minutes. So in this case, the battery is intended to be a backup in case I run completely out of hydrogen and need to get the conveyor system working on. Yeah, a larger battery would probably work too. So, so I think I will need to experiment with both and kind of see which one is more effective. I think this one will be a little bit more efficient because it's two hydrogens instead of one. Yes, definitely adding the extra gyroscopes was very important. Alright, let's see here. The tank is on. Let's see, what's the red light? Oh, the battery is a red light because the battery has been turned off. I don't see any other red lights. Let's see, even this guy's intact. That's strange. Perhaps it was red for some reason. I'll probably have to rewatch the stream to actually see. But well, it's possible that the power was exceeded when it was spinning and the gyroscopes were at maximum. So it's possible that the power just got exceeded, so it means turned off for a little while. Of course, I guess another thing that this reminds me of how long I've been playing Space Neos. I remember when the days when if you hit a tree, your day would be completely over because trees would completely destroy your vehicle. But nowadays, you can just run into them and they don't actually damage your vehicle as much anymore. So, I guess that means I've been playing Space Engineers too long. If I can remember the old days when things were more buggy. I think I only have about 1,000 hours in the game, and so I haven't been playing as long as some people. Yeah, you've definitely been playing longer than I have. I I've been I've been part of the community for a very long time, but I've taken I've taken breaks between from time to time. All right, did I smash something by accident? No, well, nothing significant. Let's see. Oh, well, it was ready the entire time, and apparently I didn't see it, but I definitely need to actually repair that still. Let's just grab a decent amount. That way I can do any kind of repairs that this vehicle needs. Alright, so the cargo container is damaged, alright. Display and interior plates. Alright, have a good evening. Oh. Nah, I'll just leave it as is. Saved a new copy. Let's see, edit. Delete. Yes. Alright. And Control B again. Screenshot. Alright, there we go. Blueprint replace. Well, it's really good to have someone on who is willing to provide critique, so I'm happy that you decided to show up and give me some advice. So, thank you. And I'll probably, what times do you stream? I'll probably pop on the times that you stream. I'll make sure to pop on as well and probably give you a follow as well. Anyway, I think it's almost about time to wrap up this stream. I'm gonna do something quick before the stream's over, but I'm probably gonna end it in about 10 minutes. So this is enough for this world. I'm gonna switch over to another world now that I've saved the schematic of my ship. So I'm gonna switch over that. Exit, save. Alright, let's load a game. Race 1. And I'm going to take this vehicle that we just created during our stream and take it for a bit of a test drive. So let's go back here, switch back to the game. go into into Space Master. Copy to clipboard. And let's rotate this around a bit and paste it on down. And we're now going to take this rover for a test spin. Alright, let's bump up the power to the absolute max and bump the friction up as well. And we're going to be testing out the absolute limits of this vehicle. So this is the Dakar Rally that Zockley uses in his streams. So this is just a copy of that world, and this is the race that people are doing on that stream. Alright, actually, come to think about it, remove the speed limit. We are approaching the first checkpoint. Nope, sand does not get in anything because voxels don't actually throw sand and stuff. So now we're just bouncing up and down. I don't know, maybe. I've never played that game, so I don't know if it's if that's the reference. So up here we're going to come to a bridge, so I'm going to need to slow down a bit, kind of right before we hit this checkpoint. Because this bridge is very easy to fall off of. I've gone flying off the edge of this mountain a couple times before. Alright, full speed ahead. Okay, where's... Oh. Damn it. I completely missed the checkpoint. Alright. Now, back to that checkpoint. Now onward to the next checkpoint. So it is somewhat apparent that this vehicle does have a few power issues. Not anything significant, but it does have some issues when trying to go up large hills. So that it might be a little bit low on power, but it seems like it's actually doing pretty decently considering just how big it is. So I've actually, as you can see, I've taken a bit of damage on the bottom, but not significant. But this is the kind of race that really pushes this vehicle to its limits. Right? Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and boost the wheel strength a bit because it's very much appeals that that the vehicle is riding a bit too low because it's starting to take damage in the front. But my last vehicle was extremely slow and was having trouble even going through this race really effectively. It was going very slowly. This is a hard race to complete. Alright, another bridge. Alright, let's see, what damage is okay still. So through certain areas you're best to kind of go slow and not too quickly, because you don't want to go too fast and fly off the bridge because you're going out of control. So in certain places you're better off to go slowly and stay in control than go fast and spin out. So this vehicle would not be able to actually participate in one of Zockley's races because one of his rules is only 2 gyroscopes per vehicle. So with the extra 4 gyroscopes, it would not be in its current state. It would not be permissible to do in the actual race. But this race is also a good test of the vehicle's limits. But yeah, this thing has been getting a ton of air and been doing very, very well. Well, until the wheels pop, that is. Alright. Well. The wheels popping have been happening in the past. I do wonder, is it happening a lot here? Because they popped all at the same time. But, well, on that note, I think it's time to, well, let's roll this thing over so we can inspect some of the damage. And then it'll be time to end the stream. Alright. Rolled over. So yeah, it took pretty serious damage, but this is a hard race and it's not exactly, this vehicle itself does not exactly have very strong armor. Yeah, I have to head off too, so see you later.